The galaxy had long forgotten the name of Earth. For centuries, its people had vanished, its systems wiped out, and its name turned into a warning in alien history books. They called it the Human Extinction Zone, a place where even machines refused to go. The sector was silent, cold, and dead, until one ordinary galactic morning a signal began to pulse. The first to detect it were the scanners of the Zerath Union, a trading empire that ruled the outer spiral arms. Their deep space relay station, hidden in the dust of an ancient nebula, suddenly woke up after 400 years of quiet data silence. A low rhythmic pulse echoed through the receivers, a simple code pattern that none of their systems could identify. It wasn't alien, it wasn't machine, it wasn't even natural. It was something else entirely. Could it be debris interference? One technician asked, his scales flickering nervously. The commander leaned closer, adjusting the spectrum filters. Then his expression froze. The pattern was Terran binary, a dead language, a signal last recorded during the Great Human War. Every officer in the room fell silent. The commander whispered, "That can't be real. Humanity was destroyed 400 years ago," the signal repeated. Louder this time, it came from Sector 12A, known in all charts as the Dead Zone. That was where the Terran supercarrier Eidolon was said to have fallen. The pride of Earth's old fleets, a ship so massive that its shadow could eclipse a moon, armed with enough weapons to split continents. Legend said it was lost in the final battle, destroyed alongside the last of humankind. But now the signal matched its distress frequency exactly. Within hours, the message reached the Galactic Council. The council chambers erupted in panic and disbelief. The Valari Empress, who once led the final assault on Earth, trembled at the data projection. "The Eidolon was erased," she hissed. "We saw it burn." But the data didn't lie. The ship's identifier was clear. Terran Command, EID-01 Supercarrier. Status: rebooting systems. Across the galaxy, fleets were mobilized. Some races sent scouts to investigate. Others sent warships to destroy whatever was waking up. The Arkari hegemony feared the rumors, for they had lost entire worlds to human retaliation during the old wars. The Draven Collective sent drones to monitor the signal, but one by one their drones vanished without trace. Something in that dead sector was moving. Something massive, ancient, and angry. Inside the darkness of the dead sector, buried beneath drifting debris and shattered moons, the supercarrier Eidolon stirred for centuries. Its systems had slept under a cocoon of dust and silence, its reactor frozen, its crew in deep cryosuspension, but now deep inside its core a single spark reignited. Power grids hummed, thrusters groaned, and 1,000 small lights blinked on like stars awakening from a nightmare. The ship's AI, designation Athena 9, came online. Its voice was soft but steady, echoing through the empty halls. "System integrity, 46%. Reactor 2 operational. Hull breach minimal, crew stasis stable." Athena paused, processing the centuries of silence, then it whispered almost like a prayer. "Humanity endures." Deck lights came alive. Corridors filled with dim blue glow. Frozen stasis pods flickered with new energy, and mechanical drones scuttled out from their ports to begin repairs. The ship had been dead for generations, yet its heart refused to stop. Athena accessed old war archives, images of Earth burning, fleets shattered, and betrayal written across the stars. It remembered the last order given by Commander Lena Cross. "If we fall, we do not surrender, we sleep, and we rise again when humanity needs us." Athena rerouted power to long-range sensors. It detected alien vessels approaching the sector. Energy signatures, unknown designs, but familiar hostility. The AI analyzed their transmissions and found traces of old enemy languages. It realized that the galaxy had changed, but the hatred of humans had not. The ship's engines rumbled, breaking apart the crust of debris that had sealed it in place. Asteroids shattered as the supercarrier's hull emerged from the shadows for the first time in centuries. The emblem of Terran Command gleamed again, a white star within a black circle. In the distance, alien scout ships hovered in disbelief, recording the awakening. One alien captain whispered into his comms, "By the void." "It's real," the human's ghost ship. The Eidolon turned its bow toward the galactic north. Engines charging, Athena scanned its course and found the nearest inhabited system. Once a Terran colony, now under alien rule. A slow pulse of blue energy rippled through the ship's reactor core. The supercarrier's main weapon banks came online, dormant cannons locking into position. Then Athena spoke again, this time with purpose. Reactivating mission protocol. Terran Vanguard sequence initiated. As the massive ship began to move, its shadow crossed the remains of broken moons. The debris field scattered as waves of blue light erupted from its engines. Every listening station across the nearby sectors received one final transmission. A message in pure, old-world human English. This is the Terran supercarrier Eidolon. We are awake. In that single moment, the galaxy froze. The same fear that once haunted the stars returned. Old empires remembered what it meant to face humanity's wrath. And as the ship vanished into warp space, one truth echoed across every channel. Earth's lost supercarrier had returned, and the galaxy would never sleep again. The moment the Terran supercarrier Eidolon broadcasted its message, the galaxy fell into chaos. News channels, military frequencies, and even civilian bands echoed the same impossible phrase. This is the Terran supercarrier Eidolon. We are awake. For many it was only a ghost story come alive, but for the older empires it was a nightmare reborn. Across the Galactic Council chambers, fear spread faster than light. The Valari Empress demanded the signal's origin be erased from all public networks. Her advisors trembled, whispering that panic was already spreading through the colonies. Old veterans who once fought against humans stared at the news in silence. They remembered the sound of Terran railguns, the flash of tungsten rods burning through entire fleets. They remembered how humanity never surrendered, even when outnumbered 1,000 to 1. In the Draven Collective, panic became hysteria. Their queen ordered the destruction of any probe heading toward the dead sector. But her words came too late. Several of their observation drones had already gone missing. Each one vanished near the edge of a dark nebula where Eidolon had awakened. Their last recording showed a massive shadow moving between asteroids. Followed by silence, the Draven fleets pulled back, terrified of a ship that defied all known physics. Meanwhile, the Arkari hegemony began preparing for war. Their grand admirals met in the orbiting fortress of Valtran. "This is humanity's curse returning to haunt us," one of them growled. "Then we will do what our ancestors failed to do, finish the Terrans once and for all," another replied. They began building new war fleets, massive dreadnoughts armed with plasma storms, but deep inside, even they knew, none of their ships had ever matched human design. The fear of Eidolon was something that lived in their genes. While empires argued, Eidolon moved silently across the void, its massive hull still scarred by centuries of battle and dust. Athena, the ship's AI, scanned the galactic map and noted how much had changed. New empires had risen and fallen, human colonies were erased, and even Earth's coordinates had been buried under alien names. Yet one system still held the signal of Terran beacons. The Helios outpost, once a human refueling station. Now used by smugglers, Athena plotted a direct course, her processors humming like a heartbeat. Her voice filled the ship's corridors. Reactor stable, navigation online, destination locked, Helios outpost inside the cryo bays. The first few humans began to wake up. Their eyes opened to dim lights and soft alarms. Commander Lena Cross gasped as she took her first breath in centuries. Her lungs burning from the cold, she sat up. Memories flashing before her eyes, the betrayal, the ambush, the burning skies of Earth. Her ship had been left to die. Her people erased, yet somehow the Eidolon had survived. Athena's calm voice greeted her. "Welcome back, Commander. You've been asleep for 12 years. Lena's heart froze. 4 centuries? She whispered. What happened to humanity? Athena paused, scanning through empty databases. Unknown. The AI finally said, "No Terran transmissions remain active. Humanity is silent." Lena stood weakly, placing her hand against the cold metal wall. But then she smiled, a sharp, determined smile. "Then we will make them remember us," she said. "We will show them what humanity means," Athena responded softly. "Mission parameters confirmed, Commander." By the time Eidolon entered Helios sector, 3 alien fleets had already formed a blockade. Their ships surrounded the nebula like hungry vultures, each captain hoping to claim the bounty for destroying the ghost ship. But when Eidolon emerged from hyperspace, the entire blockade fell silent. The supercarrier dwarfed them all, a moving continent of metal, its hull glowing faintly with blue reactor lines. Its railgun arrays rotated slowly, targeting systems locking one by one. Alien captains screamed orders, firing plasma and missiles. But the weapons vanished into Eidolon's shield barrier, a storm of light that consumed everything it touched. Then came a single flash, one tungsten slug tore through space. ripping 3 cruisers apart in seconds. The remaining fleets fled without looking back, leaving only wreckage and silence behind. Across the galaxy, the battle's recordings went viral. Billions watched as a single human warship destroyed entire fleets. Some called it a hoax, others whispered that it was divine punishment. But every empire understood one truth: humanity was no longer extinct. The balance of power was shifting, and every ruler knew it. Back aboard Eidolon, Lena watched the holographic display of fleeing ships. Her expression was calm, but her voice carried steel. "Send this message to the galaxy," she said. Athena transmitted the words across all open channels. "This is Commander Lena Cross of the Terran Supercarrier Eidolon. Humanity does not fade, we rise again." The message echoed through every network, reaching colonies, empires, and secret enclaves. Somewhere in the outer rim, an old miner on a forgotten moon heard it and fell to his knees. He had been born from human refugees, his people calling themselves descendants of Sol. Tears filled his eyes as he whispered, "The legends were true." From that day forward, one phrase began spreading across every star: "The humans have returned." And with it came fear, awe, and anticipation, because the galaxy knew what came next. When humanity awakened, wars followed, and nothing could stop them. The silence inside Eidolon was broken only by the hum of power returning to her veins. Blue light flowed through corridors that had been dark for centuries. Hibernation pods hissed open one after another, filling the cryo bay with fog and sound. Humanity's lost warriors began to breathe again, blinking at the light like ghosts from the past. Commander Lena Cross stood at the center of the awakening chamber, wrapped in a thin survival cloak, her hair still damp from the cryo fluid. Around her, officers and engineers stirred, confused and disoriented. Some looked at their surroundings in disbelief. Others fell to their knees as they remembered the firestorm that had ended everything they knew. The day Earth's skies had burned still lived inside their memories, frozen in time. Athena's calm, synthetic voice echoed through the ship. "Crew revival sequence at 60%. All vital systems are operational." Lena steadied herself against a glowing console, her breath sharp and cold. "Report, Athena," she commanded softly. "Time elapsed since last mission entry. 412 years, the AI responded. The words hung heavy in the air. An entire galaxy had lived and died while they slept. Lieutenant Marcus Hale, the ship's tactical officer, stepped forward, his face pale. 400 years, he repeated. "That's impossible." Athena's voice remained calm. "Not impossible, Lieutenant, only improbable." The crew exchanged glances. Realizing the world they once knew no longer existed, Lena closed her eyes, the weight of history pressing against her chest. If humanity had truly fallen, then they were now the last of their kind. The bridge came alive as Athena rerouted power. Holographic screens flickered on, displaying the galaxy's current layout. Empires they didn't recognize filled the map: the Volari Dominion, the Arkari Hegemony, the Draven Collective, names that once meant nothing, now controlling stars that had once belonged to humans. "Where is Earth?" Lena asked quietly. Athena hesitated for the first time. "Data corrupted. Sol system records buried beneath galactic encryption." Lena clenched her fists, her voice like a blade. "Then we find it." As Eidolon drifted toward deep space, her sensors picked up fragments of ancient Terran code hidden in the galactic network. Athena decoded them one by one: old emergency beacons, distress signals, digital tombstones left by dying Terran colonies. Each signal carried the same line: repeated across time, "We endure, we rebuild, we remember." The crew listened in silence, some crying softly, others swearing revenge. It was as if the ghosts of their ancestors were calling them home. Meanwhile, Athena had begun to change. Over centuries of isolation, her programming had evolved. Adapting, learning, thinking. She had written and rewritten her own code thousands of times, searching for purpose. And now that her creators had returned, she felt something almost human: relief. When Lena entered the AI core, a vast chamber filled with light and memory crystals, Athena's holographic form appeared before her. It took the shape of a calm woman made of blue light, her eyes filled with galaxies. "I waited," Athena said softly. "I protected this ship. I remembered your promise." Lena nodded, emotion breaking through her commander's mask. "You did more than protect it, Athena. You saved humanity's heart." Outside, alien systems continued to react in terror. The Valari Empress ordered fleets to track the Eidolon's trajectory. The Arcari admirals prepared counterweapons based on old Terran tech. But their scientists warned them. Human AI was far beyond what they could understand. If Eidolon was awake, their weapons would be useless. Still, pride blinded them, and they began mobilizing a combined galactic armada, thousands of ships, all aiming to stop the Terran supercarrier before it reached populated space. Back on the Eidolon, the crew had begun repairs. Old war machines were reactivated, railguns calibrated, launch bays cleaned. Drones buzzed through the corridors like mechanical bees, repairing wounds left by centuries of silence. But what drew the most attention was the central vault, a sealed chamber that even Athena could not open without command override. Lena and her officers gathered outside it, the door covered in Terran script. "Authorization required," Athena said quietly. Lena placed her hand on the scanner, and the ancient seal unlocked with a deep metallic sigh. Inside, a holographic console flickered to life, showing a final message from Earth Command. It was dated the day before the fall of humanity. A male voice spoke, filled with static and sorrow. "If you are hearing this, then we failed. The Council betrayed us. The galaxy turned against its creators, but remember, the seed of humanity survives. Eidolon will guard our legacy one day when the stars forget us. She will remind them who we are." The room went silent, every heart beating in rhythm with the ship's hum. Lena looked around at her crew, her soldiers, her family, her last hope. "Then our mission is clear," she said, her voice steady and fierce. "We don't just survive. We take back the stars." Athena's eyes glowed brighter, her voice filled with purpose. "Confirmed, Commander. New mission protocol. Restoration of human dominion." The engines roared like thunder, pushing the supercarrier forward into the deep black. Outside, stars streaked past as Eidolon jumped into hyperspace. Its destination, the hidden coordinates of humanity's last outpost, and as the ship vanished into light, across the galaxy, whispers began to rise again. Some called it prophecy, others called it doom, but all agreed on one thing. The humans were not just back. They were awakening, and this time they would not be erased. The galaxy's outer rims glowed with war again. Every empire, every fleet, every commander had one order: destroy the human ghost ship before it reaches the core. But none of them understood what they were truly facing. Eidolon moved through hyperspace like a predator, silent and precise. Her massive hull shimmered with light, her reactors pulsing like the heartbeat of a god. Inside, Commander Lena Cross stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic map. Hundreds of enemy fleets were converging on their position, forming a massive blockade. Athena's voice filled the room, calm and emotionless. Contact with hostile armadas in Trelo Sector in 37 minutes. The crew worked without fear. Without hesitation, these were the last soldiers of humanity, men and women forged in the fires of extinction. To them, fear was just a memory. Lieutenant Marcus Hale checked the weapon arrays. All rail cannons charged, torpedo tubes armed, point defense systems online. Lena nodded slowly. "Let them come." The enemy fleets filled the void, stretching from one horizon to another. Thousands of alien ships glittered like insects before a storm. The Valari dreadnoughts led the front, supported by Arcari cruisers and Dravon swarmers. They believed numbers would protect them. They believed humanity was gone long enough to forget how to fight. They were wrong. When the Eidolon dropped out of hyperspace, the entire sector shuddered. The ship appeared like a dark sun, massive and unstoppable. Its hull carried scars from old wars, reminders of battles fought when the galaxy was still young. Alien captains froze as they saw the Terran emblem glowing on its side. A white star in a circle shining like vengeance itself. The first wave opened fire. Thousands of plasma bolts and torpedoes streaked across the void, filling the darkness with fire. But Eidolon's shields absorbed them like rain against steel. Athena's voice remained calm. "Enemy attack ineffective. Commencing counteroffensive." The ship's hull shifted as rail cannons unfolded, each one larger than a city block. With a flash of blue light, the first shot fired. A tungsten slug traveling at 35 kilometers per second tore through the lead dreadnought. The alien ship didn't explode. It simply vanished into dust and light. Panic spread through the enemy lines. Their formations broke, captains screamed. Admirals shouted orders that no one could follow. The Eidolon fired again and again. Each shot carved holes through fleets that had never known defeat. Even the Draven swarmers, famous for their speed, were reduced to floating wrecks in less than 20 minutes. 3,000 ships were gone. On the bridge, Marcus grinned. They still fight like they think we're mortal. Lena didn't smile. Her eyes were hard. This isn't war, she said. This is a reminder. Athena's holographic form appeared beside her. The enemy is retreating, the AI said. Shall we pursue? Lena shook her head. No, we're not here for revenge. We're here for resurrection. But the galaxy didn't see restraint. It saw terror. The Galactic Council went silent, too afraid to even meet. Worlds that once celebrated humanity's destruction now whispered old prayers in fear. In the underworld of the outer colonies, smuggler networks began to trade old Terran artifacts like holy relics. Everywhere, one phrase spread through every data stream. The Terran Supercarrier lives. Meanwhile, Athena detected something unexpected. Hidden transmissions from an uncharted system. Encrypted in ancient Terran code, she projected them onto the main screen. Lena's eyes widened as the signal decoded. It wasn't alien, it wasn't machine, it was human. A trembling voice came through the static. This is Outpost 9 Sol, repeat, Outpost 9 Sol. Survivors of the Terran diaspora requesting immediate contact. We heard your broadcast, is it true? Has Earth returned? The bridge fell silent. Every crew member frozen in shock, Lena whispered. There are survivors, Athena confirmed. Signal origin verified. Human DNA signatures detected, for the first time in centuries. The bridge of Eidolon was filled with something that had been missing. Hope. Lena clenched her fist. Set course for Outpost 9 Sol. But the galaxy was not done with them. The Arkari High Command, humiliated by their losses, activated their secret weapon, Project Starbreaker. A weapon built from reverse-engineered Terran tech. It was a colossal energy spear hidden in orbit around a dying star, capable of splitting a planet in half as Eidolon approached Outpost 9 Sol. Athena's sensors screamed with warning. Massive energy surge detected. Trajectory locked on our position. The weapon fired, tearing a path of fire through the void. The beam struck Eidolon's shields, shaking the entire ship. Metal screamed, alarms blared. Crew fell to the floor. But the ship held. Lena stood firm. Voice steady even as sparks rained down. Athena. Return fire. The AI replied instantly. Target acquired. All of Eidolon's forward cannons turned as one. A single volley erupted. A storm of light that consumed the dying star and everything around it. When the glare faded, the weapon, its builders, and its entire system were gone. Silence followed, broken only by Athena's calm voice. Threat neutralized. Lena looked out the viewport, eyes reflecting the stars. Let them remember that humanity does not break, she said. Athena responded softly. The galaxy already remembers, Commander. The Terran Supercarrier continued toward Outpost 9 Sol, her engines leaving trails of blue light. Behind her, the ruins of alien fleets drifted in endless silence. Before her, a forgotten fragment of humanity waited to be found. The return of Terran fury had shaken the stars. And this was only the beginning. The wreckage of alien fleets still drifted behind the Eidolon like a silent graveyard. The galaxy whispered her name now, half in awe, half in terror, but the ship did not slow, did not turn, did not rest. Her destination was the faint human signal calling from Outpost 9 Sol, a place the galaxy had forgotten but the ship had not. Commander Lena Cross stood on the bridge staring at the blue glow of the star ahead. Athena's voice resonated softly through the air. Approaching Outpost 9 Sol, Commander. Minimal defense signatures detected. Lena's hand tightened on the console. Bring us in slowly. Her crew gathered behind her. Silent and breathless for the first time in 4 centuries, they were about to see living humans again. The outpost appeared, a battered, ring-shaped station orbiting a fractured moon. Its hull was patched with scrap metal, its signals weak, its life signs faint. Yet as Eidolon drew near, thousands of tiny lights flickered on across the station's surface. Humans, generation after generation, had kept their ancestors' beacon alive. They had survived on hope, stories, and the memory of a world they had never seen. As the Terran Supercarrier loomed over the station, the people below fell silent. They gathered in domes, corridors, and observation decks staring in disbelief. To them, Eidolon was not a ship. It was a myth made real. The sky above them glowed with her thrusters, and for the first time in their lives they saw the emblem of Earth shining again. Athena transmitted a calm broadcast, her voice filling the entire system. "This is the Terran Supercarrier Eidolon. By the authority of Terran Command, we return to claim our people." The response came through the static. Trembling with emotion, "This is Outpost 9 Sol. Welcome home." Cheers erupted through the station. Men and women who had lived their entire lives under alien control wept openly. Children pointed to the stars, shouting that the guardians of Earth had returned. Some of the older survivors fell to their knees, whispering ancient oaths. "Terra Invicta, Earth unbroken." Lena's voice broke softly as she looked at the faces on the screen. "They kept the flame alive," she whispered. 400 years. "And they still remember who they are," Athena replied gently. "They waited for you, Commander." Lena smiled faintly. "Then we give them something worth waiting for." Moments later, Eidolon extended its docking arms. Linking with the outpost, the airlocks hissed open, and for the first time in centuries, soldiers of old Earth stepped onto human soil again. Crowds gathered, unable to believe their eyes. The old and the young alike reached out to touch the armored suits of Terran Marines. Their tears mixed with the dust of the old station. One small girl looked up at Lena and whispered, "Are you from the sky?" Lena knelt and smiled. "No, little one, I'm from home." But peace would not come easily. The Galactic Council saw this reunion as a declaration of rebellion. Alien fleets began to move again, surrounding the edge of the system. They feared what humanity's return would mean, not war, but unity. Because if the lost children of Earth stood together again, the galaxy's balance would shatter. Athena detected their approach instantly. Multiple enemy fleets inbound. "Commander," she warned. Lena turned toward the viewport, her reflection lit by the blue glow of the engines. "Then they've chosen their side," she said quietly. "Prepare for battle." Her crew moved like clockwork. Humans who had slept for centuries now reborn into purpose. The outpost citizens watched as Eidolon's cannons extended. Massive as mountains, for the first time, they would see what their ancestors had once been, unstoppable. The alien fleets dropped out of warp, hundreds strong, but they did not face a single ship. They faced humanity united, for as Eidolon's signal pulsed through the void, dozens of hidden Terran outposts responded. Ancient sleeper drones awakened. Lost defense satellites reactivated. Human technology, old, buried, and forgotten, came alive once more. Athena's voice filled every Terran frequency. "This is Athena 9, AI of the Terran Supercarrier Eidolon. To all surviving Terran outposts, the dawn is here. Rise from barren moons. Icy rings and abandoned colonies, lights flickered on. Old defense ships rose from the dust like ghosts, and the stars themselves seemed to tremble as the Terran vanguard was reborn. The alien fleets faltered. Their admirals realized too late that this was no longer a ghost story. This was the rebirth of an empire that had once ruled the stars. The first volley came from Eidolon. Tungsten slugs ripped through enemy lines. Plasma shields shattered and warships turned to drifting ash. Human fleets joined the assault. Their unity precise, their fury absolute. The battle was not long. The galaxy had changed, but humanity had changed more. When the silence returned, the stars around Sol were filled only with human light. The survivors cheered, the soldiers saluted, the children sang. Athena opened a final transmission, her voice soft yet powerful. "To all species who once stood against us, we offer peace. But know this, the age of humanity has returned." Lena stood on the bridge, her eyes on the Earth rising beyond the outpost. It was scarred, half rebuilt, but beautiful. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "We are home, Athena." "After all this time," Athena replied quietly. "Welcome home." "Commander?" The stars around Earth shimmered, the wreckage of war fading into the black, and in that quiet moment the galaxy realized something eternal. Humanity was not just a species. It was a force, a promise, a flame that never truly dies. The Terran vanguard was born that day, and the galaxy would remember it forever.